Hey, welcome back to this mini lecture. This one's called How Technology Disrupted the Truth. Katharine Viner, more on fake news. The story that sets up her piece is about David Cameron, the former PM. Um, he was alleged to be involved in a scandal, and then the author of this book, it was like a unproven scandal, and she asked readers to either believe the scandal or not. And it's not so much for the author to come up with the truth. It's more for the readers, and it deals with the impact of tech on news and journalism, the whole piece. Here's some quotes. In the digital age, it's easier than ever to publish false information, which is quickly shared and taken to be true. How do we deal with publishing fake news? It can just be published so quickly and so easily, and it can be amplified so greatly, it is difficult to deal with. How do we restore the status of truth? This is the article deals partly with Brexit, and here's a quote of a person involved in Brexit right after the Brexit vote was referendum vote was decided. I'm actively searching through Facebook for people celebrating the Brexit Leave victory, but the filter bubble is so strong and extends so far into things like Facebook's custom search that I can't find anyone who's happy, despite the fact that over half the country is clearly jubilant today, despite the fact that what I'm actively looking to hear what they're saying. What are the implications of this filter bubble? This person is actually looking to find out what the other side is saying. Most people don't do that. So, how, once we're in our filter bubble, say if there's a binary issue, if you're pro or con, if you have all pro people, you don't really know what the con people are thinking about. If you're con, you're not knowing what the pro is. And it's like there's these two complete different information ecosystems. This is from Emily Bell at Columbia, the Tow Center. I believe she's still there. Social media hasn't just swallowed journalism, it has swallowed everything. It has swallowed political campaigns, banking systems, personal histories, the leisure industry, retail, even government security. What is the impact of this large scale swallowing? Facebook, as a social media platform, has just taken so much revenue from so many different industries. It is difficult for them to cope with that. And what happens when one media platform, social media, just controls or has such a large influence and takes so much revenue out of so many things? This is from Hossein Dirakshan. Publications created by editors have in many cases been replaced by a stream of information chosen by friends, contacts, and family, processed by secret algorithms. The diversity that the World Wide Web had originally envisioned has given way to the centralization of information inside of a select few social networks, and the end result is making us all as powerful in relation to government and corporations. What is the impact of less professionally curated news and its centralization? It seems like professional news editors are being replaced by friends, contacts, family, and secret algorithms. There has to be a cost to that. And it seems like a weird paradox that what we once thought it would be the diversity of the World Wide Web has become centralized in so few, relatively few corporations. This is from Jürgen Habermas, and this is from 2007, so think about this. When reorganization and cost cutting in this core area jeopardize accustomed journalistic standards, it hits at the very heart of the political public sphere. Because, one, without the flow of information gained through extensive research, and two, without the stimulation of arguments based on an expertise that doesn't come cheap, public communication loses its discursive vitality. The public media would then cease to resist public populist tendencies and can no longer fulfill the function it should in the context of a democratic constitutional state. This was done in 2007. This is done before social media it would have been just starting, really. Um, Now, this, again, based on number one up there, there's a ton of information that's not based on extensive research. And there's not this expertise that is filling up the social media space. The social media space, the ecosystem of information, it's just done by everyone. And because of that, public communication has lost its discursive vitality. A lot of people talking, not as much thought, not as much careful writing, and not as much expertise. And it's resulted in some very strong populist uprisings across the globe. Another quote: facts and reliable information are essential for the functioning of democracy, and the digital era has made that even more obvious. When the prevailing mood is anti-elite and anti-authority, trust in big institutions, including the media, begins to crumble. What is the impact of less facts, reliable information? What is the impact of decreasing trust? Um, when you have a filter bubble, we have more fiction and less facts. We have more unreliable information. Democracy has a really hard time functioning. Um, and when you have an anti-elite, anti-authority sentiment, loss of trust in big institutions, um, societies begin to crumble. Democracy begins to crumble, and with a phenomena like this, the coronavirus, that is difficult to deal with a public health crisis. As an example, when there's this lack of reliable information, relative absence of facts, anti-elite mood. Why trust experts? We don't trust experts. That becomes a difficult problem when there's a public health crisis. That was How Technology Disrupted the Truth by Katharine Viner. Thanks for listening.